So Mamata Banerjee wants to take on Karl Marx. We asked the Trinamool Congress to participate in the News Hour debate tonight. The Trinamool Congress refused to participate. We asked Derek O'Brien to participate in the News Hour debate tonight. Derek O'Brien refused to participate in the News Hour debate tonight. And we were also informed that no Trinamool Congress member will participate on a discussion on the subject. We would still request them to reconsider. If they want to, they can join the debate right now. On the News Hour debate tonight, however, I have Ashok Vishwanathan, who's an award-winning film director, and Sucheta Mahajan, who's professor of the Center for Historical Studies at JNU. Professor Mahajan, what do you think Mamata Banerjee is doing? Is she correcting a historical wrong, or is she committing a historical blunder?
Arnab, I think no historical wrongs can be corrected. This is a complete myth that politicians, particularly people who have just recently assumed power, seem to have. They go about trying to destroy the heroes of the earlier regimes. This is part of the revolutionary transformations that they think that they are creating. I think that what Mamata seems to be doing is to be politicizing education, and what is really worrying is that this is a high school curriculum which is being targeted.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Karl Marx has been picked up, as if Karl Marx is only the father of Marxism,
Yeah.
as if he hasn't given us the best possible understanding of capitalism. I mean, if I were Mamata Di and I was building capitalism in West Bengal, which I hope she'll try to do, then, well, I should certainly go and read my Karl Marx.
Yeah,
To throw out the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917, again, I think is something totally foolish.
Yeah,
because look at the impact the Bolshevik Revolution had on India's freedom movement, on the entire Bengali intelligentsia of that time. So, what are we really doing?
I don't know, frankly. In fact, I would still request someone like Derek O'Brien to try and join the News Hour debate instead of not coming, and also making sure other Trinamool Congress leaders don't join the debate. Derek O'Brien says history doesn't begin with the Bolsheviks and ends with the Basus and Bhattacharyas. History preceded them. History will survive them. Marx should be studied as a historical phenomenon, not at the expense of Mahatma and Mandela. It's an interesting argument. I mean, I'm not sure if it completely makes sense, whether you can... But what do you make of this fairly linear approach, Ashok Vishwanathan, that Derek O'Brien has displayed towards history? I mean, Derek O'Brien believes this is the kind of history which must be taught. I don't know, which thematic approach is this?
No, what I'd like to say is that I think whatever is being done by Mr. Avik Mazumdar needs to be viewed in perspective. Because I didn't study when the CPM-led government framed the syllabus, and in fact I studied the ICSE and ISC. But from what I've read, there was a distinct bias towards a kind of ideology which the government of the last 34 years subscribed towards, which I thought was a kind of brainwashing, and particularly for very impressionable minds. The future of the country is in the children, and particularly at the 11 and 12 level. It was harmful. But that does not in any way justify, a kind of witch hunt in the sense that you remove whatever was there. Marx is a historical phenomenon.
No, I
may not agree entirely.
No, I would like to question that.
Yes.
Because by that logic, for example, you take up any sociological treatise. You say the basis of sociology, in Indian sociology, is the study of the caste system. So are you saying that we should not study Louis Dumont's Homo hierarchicus? Or are we saying that when you study sociology, and you say that Durkheim's treatise on suicide, don't read Durkheim's treatise on suicide because you'll end up committing suicide? I mean, that's a naive and fairly immature argument. I'm not understanding what this approach is.
I don't think the framers of, can I say something, Arnab?
Yes.
I don't think the framers of the syllabus are doing away or wishing away Marx. I felt that there was a very uncritical approach to the way Marx was presented, as even the Bolshevik Revolution was. And the presence of Stalin in most of these textbooks was obnoxious, to say the least.
No, so you have to add a subjectivity. No, your argument is you add a subjectivity to it. No, you don't present it in a neutral way. You add a subjectivity
analyze
to
it.
Analyze it in a manner that is pleasing to the Trinamool Congress.
Analyze it. Not necessarily. There's no Holy Ghost here. You know, when Marx left Cologne to go to London to write his Das Kapital, there were a crowd of people to see him off at the station. Most of whom were his creditors, who were shaking their fists in a manner that has only lately come to be recognized as the leftist salute.
Well, I mean, okay, so here's an argument that there was an attempt in history syllabus in Bengal to bat for a particular ideology, right? That's what Ashok Vishwanathan is saying. You're trying to bat for a particular ideology. It's about the weightage that you are giving to the study of the Bolshevik Revolution, for example, in class 8, 9 and 10. Yes, go ahead. Professor, would you like to respond to him?
Well, are we saying that Gandhi, for that matter, was not influenced by Marx, that he was not socialist or pro-poor in his ideas? Are we saying that Nehru was not influenced by the Bolshevik Revolution, that his ideas about planning did not come from his first visit there in the 1920s? What are we talking about? I mean, I, Arnab, wanted to actually make a slightly wider point about why history seems to be picked up by politicians as a happy hunting ground to impose their own ideologies and indulge in a kind of, free-for-all. Why don't they throw out the binomial theorem? I mean, I was reading about this committee for revision of the higher education, which Avik Majumdar is part of, and which has proposed dropping Marx and the Bolsheviks. And one of the things they say is that we're trying to lessen the burden on school children. Very noble idea, but why don't you first throw out integral calculus? Why don't you, why is it that when it comes to the sciences, then they are holy cows?
I don't think,
but when it comes to something like history, when it comes to history, then it's a plaything for every politician. When the NDA comes in, they make no reference to Gandhi's assassination. That's thrown out. When the UPA comes in, then, there's a different type of history which is brought in. Why is history? Why can't they leave it to professional historians to decide what history is going to be written, what's going to be rewritten, what's going to be learned?
But I would also question why some... Okay, go on. Ashok Vishwanathan. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you cannot equate the binomial theorem or the Gaussian distribution or the Poisson distribution with Marx. You require addition, subtraction, multiplication and division to go ahead. You see, multiplication being the operative word in the Indian context. But in any case, what we require here is an objective view. Look at what Avik Majumdar is introducing. He's trying to introduce a thematic construct. He's trying to say that the subalterns, the sannyasi revolutions,
well, let me tell you,
devoted to the Indian context.
Well, let me tell you, I don't know. I don't know this, but Ashok Vishwanathan.
Can I finish?
Mr. Vishwanathan, one small rebut, sir. One small rebut. I don't know if you know, but across the world and in the United States of America and in France and all the capitalist countries of the world, in the international baccalaureate system, they have a very detailed study of the Bolshevik Revolution, of Lenin and Marx, and American high school students are asked to go into detail. Why should a student in Kolkata be told no, this much and no further?
Let me just make my point. I didn't finish. I'm saying that Lenin is being included. What I'm saying is that there are more specifically Indian movements which are being talked about. There was a book in Bengal called Swadesho Shobhata, written by a gentleman called Dr. Kalidas Nag, a former Rajya Sabha MP and the first D-Lit from the Sorbonne University, who talked about the cultural history of Bengal and of India, where he talked about the Angkor Wat, about the Oriental constructs which were there. This was all removed.
Ashok Vishwanathan. It can also be argued.
What kind of credence do you give them who didn't realize the cultural history of the country?
Ashok Vishwanathan, you and Professor Sucheta Mahajan are extremely erudite people.